Hey everyone, Daniel and Chris here from IGN. Now we're here with your 2015 horror preview. We're going to go through 10 big horror films that are coming out this year.
Yep.
And you've written this feature, it's on site if you want to read it instead. But it's 10 films with one big caveat.
Yeah, I didn't want to write about remakes or sequels.
Yeah.
So, because I couldn't be bothered. I wanted to talk about new, exciting stuff that wasn't kind of derivative. So we've got no Sinister 2, no Insidious 3, no Paranormal Activity Ghost Dimension, no Poltergeist, and no Amityville. But we'll be watching them, we'll be writing about them because we love our horror, but we're going to talk about some new stuff.
We're championing originality. So number one, how are we going to kick off, Chris?
We're starting off with Knock Knock.
Okay.
There's a lot of Eli Roth horror happening this year. Some stuff that's been shot a while ago that's hopefully coming out.
Quite a few things.
But Knock Knock is his big film, and it's he's teamed up with Keanu Reeves on this one, which is quite an interesting pairing. And it sounds a bit like Funny Games. If you've ever seen the Michael Haneke film, and if you haven't, you should do, see the original. But yeah, it's about Keanu playing this guy who's got everything. He's got the wife, he's got the lovely kids, he's got the dream home, and his family are away, and then these two kind of sexy young girls show up on his door, and that's kind of all we know, but his life unravels and his dream kind of turns into a nightmare.
So it seems quite focused, one house, one night.
That's what it sounds like. It's what it sounds like. But yeah, it's playing at Sundance soon, so we'll know more then.
I like seeing Reeves do more fun stuff, more genre cinema. He's doing his big silly action film with John Wick. He's doing horror. Yeah. After like a big blockbuster like 47 Ronin kind of.
He has done some bad horror films though, so hopefully this is a good horror film. But Eli's also got The Green Inferno, his cannibal film's hopefully coming out finally. And a film he was involved in called Clown, which was based on like a YouTube fake trailer, is also coming out, so...
Roth's a busy boy this year.
Lots of Eli horror.
Okay, now someone else who frequently works in the horror genre up next.
Rob Zombie.
Okay, what's his new film?
He's crowdfunded this one, which was a bit controversial at the time because people were saying, well, surely Rob Zombie can get
funding for a movie. Yeah.
But that's beside the point. It's called 31, and the premise, well, it's got clowns in it, on the subject of clowns. Did you find clowns scary?
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Well, my mum collects clowns.
Oh.
So I grew up in a household of ceramic clowns. So I'm kind of a nerd to it, but at the same time, one of my favourite horror novels is It.
Okay.
So I think clowns are coming back.
That's a
big time.
Brief, grim insight into your home life.
Yeah, this explains a lot.
So the setup for this one is 5 people are kidnapped on the 5 days leading up to Halloween and held hostage in a place called Murder World. Nice. While there, they fight for their lives playing 31, which is the most violent game known to man. And that's all we've got on this one so far. So
it sounds like some twisted situation where the clown is like the games master.
Maybe.
Something like that.
Or it's clowns coming to kill them. Just don't know. But he said it's going to be his... because he's doing outside the studio system, it's going to be kind of his nastiest and most violent film to date. So...
Oh, that's saying something.
Yeah, that really is.
Okay, next one, a bit more of a concept film.
Yeah, Flatliners.
Okay.
Well, but it's not. It's called The Lazarus Effect, but if you watch the trailer or read the synopsis, it sounds exactly like the 1990 movie Flatliners. And Jason Blum, who you've spoken to.
Yes, he's become like the big horror Hollywood producer the last few years. He did the Purge movies, but really well known for the Paranormal Activity movies.
Yeah, and Insidious.
And Insidious.
So he said this film tips its hat to Flatliners, but it looks like it does a lot more than that from the trailer. But we can't judge it on the trailer, but the it's got a really good cast.
Really good,
Olivia Wilde, Mark Duplass, Evan Peters and Donald Glover, and it's about some medical students who figure out how to bring the dead back to life, a bit like Flatliners, but when one of them flatlines and returns somehow changed, kind of horror ensues, a bit like Flatliners. They said they're doing a unique take on this material, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah,
because otherwise a bit like Flatliners.
Yeah, a little bit.
Next one, Spring, this bit more original.
Yeah, Spring is something... I've reviewed this,
yeah.
So, fantastic from Fantastic Fest. But Spring is a really interesting film that you kind of shouldn't know too much about it going in, so I don't really want to say a huge amount. But it's made by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who is their second movie. I think their first movie was called Resolution, which got some good reviews. This has been getting great reviews, but it's very understated. It's about a young American guy whose mother dies and he gets in a bit of trouble, and so he just has to leave the country basically. He runs away and starts backpacking around Europe. And it's kind of a travel log, and it's quite sweet and funny, and then he meets this girl and falls in love, but there's something not quite right about her. Okay. And so the story is kind of following that journey and finding out what the truth is about her.
It's intriguing.
Yeah, and I don't think you could ever predict what it actually is.
So low in budget, high in concept.
Yeah.
See what I did there? I just read what
I wrote.
Just read what you wrote.
But I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Great.
Yeah,
I'm really intrigued by that one. So the next one, another kind of weird concept behind the next one. It Follows.
Yeah, I'm calling it the sexually transmitted ghost movie.
Put that on your poster.
Is that enough? Do people need to hear any more?
I think that's... Yeah. Should we go on to another horror?
I mean, I've seen this one. I don't want to go into too much detail. The actress behind us is the lead, Micah Monroe, who was really good in The Guest, if you saw that. Yeah, and it's kind of like a really clever spin on the slasher movies.
Yeah.
Where rather than it being a person hunting down the kids, it's something more supernatural and weird, and yeah, that's kind of all you need to know.
Sexually transmitted horror, is there shades of Cronenberg, or is Cronenberg more apt in the next movie?
I would say the next movie.
See the link.
Nice. This is going smoothly. Cooties.
Yes.
Cooties. Been hearing about this one for ages. Lee Winnell, who wrote Insidious and Saw, has written this one together with a guy who writes Glee. So it's a comedy horror, as you'd expect from that teaming, set in a school, funny enough. And it's about kind of like a zombie disease hitting the school, but only affecting the kids. We've seen that before in a British film called The Children, which was very good. But this one plays a lot more for laughs because the teachers who the children attack are played by Lee Winnell, actually playing one of them, Elijah Wood, Rainn Wilson, Alison Pill, Jack McBrayer. So really funny comedy actors. So yeah, it's the teachers versus the kids.
So that might be our comedy horror of this year.
Might be, yeah.
Okay, next one. It's a new trend in horror.
Yeah.
Like technology horror, cyber horror, social media horror.
Yeah, I guess the film that came out last year called Open Windows, Nacho Vigalondo did that, not entirely successfully. This is kind of like a YouTube Death by Skype, I've called it.
This is Unfriended.
Unfriended, sorry, yeah, we didn't say the name of it. And it is about a group of kids who are chatting on Skype together in a chat room, all friends from school, and then this mysterious person pops up in the window and starts talking to them, claiming to be a girl who was at their school. But the only trouble is that girl died a year before. She committed suicide after a kind of horrible shaming video was put online of her. So it's all set in the computer, really. Yeah. So
I think it's a rich vein that's not yet been mined. I recently watched the Channel 4 kind of 80-minute drama Cyberbully with Maisie Williams in, and there's something about the anonymity of online interaction that I think is just like primed for good horror.
Yeah.
And also the fact that somebody's coming into your house, which, you know, the Poltergeist did with the TV.
Yeah.
But even worse with the computer, because it's got so much of your personal private data on it.
Yeah.
It feels like a real invasion. So I think it's almost like a home invasion story, but on your computer.
Yeah, it feels like it's funny that this hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years, this is quite a new thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is the next Paranormal Activity, and that if it's a success, we'll see lots of people imitating it
every year,
and probably a bunch of sequels as well, because it seems like an easy thing to do.
Okay, so another subgenre within horror is festive horror, Christmas horror.
Yes.
Have we got a festive treat ahead?
We do, hopefully. So kind of, I talked about Gremlins, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Black Christmas. It's been a while since we've had one of them. But this year we've got Krampus coming. Kevin Smith was doing a Krampus movie, but that seems to have gone quiet on that front. But this is from Mike Doherty, who did Trick or Treat.
Oh.
Fan of that one?
Yeah, it was a great horror movie, which didn't really support Mantle horror movie, which came out a few years ago. Never really found an audience, but has ever since.
Yeah,
it's kind of grown.
The release got really delayed, and then it just got kind of snuck out. It didn't really happen properly, but it's brilliant. It's really good fun, and it was the last great Halloween movie.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will be the next great Christmas horror. It's about the pagan demon that if you Google, you can find out more about him. But yeah, apparently this is a bit like Trick or Treat, though. This is going to have comedy mixed in with the horror as well.
Oh, sounds good. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
So next one, The Falling.
The Falling. So I wanted to put something a bit more art house on the list that might not be as big as some of these other films, but maybe a bit more interesting. It's a British horror film that played at the London Film Festival and got pretty good reviews. And it's kind of plays like a cross between Picnic at Hanging Rock and Heavenly Creatures.
Okay.
It's about these two friends who've got kind of an obsessive friendship, or one of them does for the other. Again, it's Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones is the lead, and she's got a horrible home life, and she's a really mixed up kid, and then something happens that makes her ill, and then it starts going around the school, whatever it is. It's kind of like fainting, hysteria, and it's kind of a mystery that I think is quite ambiguous.
Okay.
But so this one isn't going to be full on blood, guts, gore. This is going to be much more of a psychological drama, but it looks really creepy.
Suspenseful terror.
kind of one that might stay with you if they nail it.
Okay, so go from art house to haunted house. Here's the big one.
The big one for
Big
us.
budget horror.
Guillermo del Toro. He's back. He's back with a horror movie, and it's Crimson Peak.
Wow.
So this has been in production for a long time, it feels like. Legendary Pictures are overseeing it. Big budget. It's set in England in the 19th century in a big haunted home called Crimson Peak. And it's about a woman who marries into, it looks like money, but her husband might not be all he seems.
Okay.
The cast is fantastic. It's Tom Hiddleston, Jessica Chastain, Maya Wasikowska, and Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I spoke to him about this about 18 months ago, and we were talking about kind of the violence and how scary it was going to be. But he also said it's going to be quite kinky, which I thought was quite interesting.
Well, like a lot of the Gothic novels were, you know, it was kind of these sexual impulses throbbing beneath the surface.
Yeah.
Big Gothic castles in England.
Yeah.
Sounds great stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard doing big budget horror, because horror very often is a genre that works really well when it's done low budget, and, you know, it's maybe you don't get to see everything.
Yeah, and the studios seem to be scared to spend a lot of money on an R-rated horror movie.
Yeah, and obviously he's a huge fan of Lovecraft, and he's toyed with the idea of doing the Mountains of Madness as a film. And to do that on the big screen, you need a big budget, because you're kind of having to realise things that you can only depict with CGI.
Yeah.
So
if this one works, we
hopefully
might get to see that.
One day.
Yeah, and finally, there's one I didn't put on the list. Because we did it in our British preview a couple of weeks back. We talked about it on camera and I wrote about it. But it's High Rise, which is Ben Wheatley's adaptation of the J.G. Ballard novel. Which, I think his films, each of his films seems to be the most disturbing film of that year.
Yeah, so he's really mastered doing that. Look at the slightly queasy atmosphere that makes you feel sick. Particularly Kill List. There's something throughout that entire movie that just makes you feel unwell.
It's deeply upsetting.
Yeah.
So we've written about all these on the site though, and all the release dates are there as well if you want to find them out, although a lot of them don't have release dates yet.
Yeah, so hopefully they're out in 2015. If we've missed anything, if there's a good horror movie that you're looking forward to, let us know in the comments below. But until then, for everything on clowns, serial killers and sexually transmitted ghosts, stay right here on IGN.